Hello, Blunt Truth with the Ka-Bar TDI defense knife. They call this the ankle knife. Comes with an ankle attachment strap-on thing to tie around your ankle, just above your ankle. And it's a defense knife, a weapon, designed as a weapon. And therefore I have to make a disclaimer here because I'm not really qualified to review a defense knife since I have never actually killed anyone with a knife. I have never cut anyone with a knife unless you count myself. I've never trained in how to kill or cut anyone with a knife. I've got no experience or training in self-defense with a knife, as maybe most of you haven't. So I'm going to try to not do this the way that I did my cold steel tie light review, where I screwed up and acted like I knew what I was talking about, and several guys that did know what they were talking about PM'd me and contacted me in other ways, forums and things, telling me that the techniques that I show with a little spin around the wrist and things in a fight against someone with experience, they'll take that opportunity, that tenth of a second, to jump in on you and kill you. So you don't want to go doing any kind of fancy tricks in a real fight against someone that knows what they're doing. I updated that video to reflect my new opinion of that. But so I'm going to approach this one a little more carefully. You know, when it comes to bushcraft, utility knives, you know, work knives, hunting, fishing knives, things like that, I'm your man. I've got experience in those things, tons and years of experience, but not in defense. I've never even really thought much about defense with a knife. I have had to take a knife away from a guy that was waving around once. It earned me this scar. It got me pretty good when I grabbed his wrist, but I got the knife away with my other hand and I broke it in half and threw him off a porch. But anyways, this knife is made out of Os-8 steel. Has a little over 3 inches of cutting edge, 3 millimeters thick. And I always tell you guys thicknesses and measurements, because when I hear someone say 0.165 inches or, you know, 3/32 or whatever, it's hard to visualize what those measurements are. But when you say a standard of millimeters, 3 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 4 millimeter, to me that's a lot easier to picture in your head how thick it is, you know, in comparison with other knives that you know how thick they are in terms of millimeters. It's got the hard plastic, you know, FRN type handle. Really nice. They got this little texturing on there. Gives you a nice grip. Comes with a nice sheath. Now I bought this. I've seen reviews of it, but I didn't think anything of it in reviews. I didn't want it. But I went to my local gun store and they had one of these, and I noticed the sheath. So what caught my eye is this flat sheath with all the holes around it. You know, this flat sheath, simple, flat. And I was thinking immediately, it popped in my head all the possibilities with these holes to run paracord through and mount it in all different ways. And I just had to have it to try that out, to try out all the different mounting methods and how it's so flat and concealable. And I did come up with quite a few good ones with it, which I'm going to show you in part 2, different ways of mounting it. The way they give you to mount it, they intend you to use this. They give you this ankle strap-on thing that goes around your ankle. I'm going to show you how this goes on your ankle in part 2 also. And it goes around, and this bracket is on here that bolts onto these holes, and the knife goes onto that, so it's all sticking out like this, bulging out and up high over your ankle, you know, up on your calf, and pull your pant leg way up, and you got this big thick thing. Even though it's comfortable because it's well padded, it's thick and probably be hot in the summer. I wouldn't want to wear this as an officer of the law all day long on my leg. So I came up with better methods than using this crap. I don't like those. There's a better way. I'll show you in part 2. So it comes with this nice holster. I like this little, not holster, sheath. And it's a friction sheath. They put little jimping things in here so you can push with your thumb and it'll come right out. But you don't need to use your thumb. Well, of course, because it's friction, it'll just... They got these 3 big grooves on each side of the handle here. They go right into the tang. You know, right, that's a full tang, and they go right into it. So, and the idea of these is you pinch it. So when you grab the knife, you'll put your pinky through this groove. That's how I do it in a reverse grip. I like this knife in reverse grip. Put your pinky in here, hook it in, and pinch here. These 6 deep grooves, and you can just pull it out real easy, and you're immediately in perfect grip for use. Right out of the sheath. And it's got, the blade is angled, obviously. It's angled forward like this, giving you a forward position in your cut. I mean, you could use this and still punch your opponent or whatever and cut. And it works great. I played around with it, cutting cardboard. I'm going to show you that when you go to cut, unlike other knives where the blade would be coming out way over here, the blade's already pointed at your opponent basically, and you can put a whole lot more force into it because you don't have to twist your wrist in a position. I have another knife here. I don't have another knife in reach. But you can twist your wrist in a position, I mean, without twisting your wrist. The knife is right at the opponent, so you could come up and slash across the throat or whatever and keep your wrist straight, giving you more power into your... It's almost like punching the knife through them instead of doing a cross slash, you know. So it works really well like that. You're going to see in part 2, I'm going to show you the difference between using a regular knife in reverse grip and using this knife in reverse grip. The difference in penetration and cutting ability. And there's a major difference. This is much better. I've got a nice swedge cut out of this. It's unique. It meets itself. It meets the grind for the blade. It's a hollow ground blade. It comes way up though. And the swedge is cut right to meet the grind. So you end up with really good piercing ability. But it's really thick near the tip too. Even though it's swedged out, it's done in such a way that there's a lot of thickness maintained up here. So it's going to have a really strong tip. It's real rigid. You know, strong. It's a strong knife. Got some jimp in here that works well. You could actually use this for utility purposes. You know, it's usable for pretty much anything. You can't get right down to, I guess, work with food very well, but cutting things up, it would work well, I guess. Part 2, I'm not going to do wooden cardboard. I'm going to do some pretend opponent defense. I've got a volunteer coming over to let us use his neck as defense and see how well it does. I like the sheath though. This is really a nice sheath. It's cool how it's all flat and very concealable with so many options for carry with all these holes in it. It's pretty neat. I like this knife. Nice knife. I don't think I'll be carrying it unless I went somewhere where I know there's danger, clear and present danger. Then I'd love to have this thing on my side. Yeah, be great. But I just bought it to check it out. This is one of my newer knives. I don't spend a lot of money on knives. It looks like I do, but over a period of time I do, but not all at once. I've only bought 2 knives since I started doing these reviews about 2 months ago. So I'm not spending a whole lot of money on knives. To me, it's not a lot. It's just, you know, this is one of the 2, and the next one that I bought I'm going to review next week. So, you know, I don't spend a whole lot of money on knives, in my opinion. This was $45. Good deal. 45 bucks. To me, that's a good deal. Neat little knife. Very, very solid feeling. takes a razor edge real easy too. Put a good edge on it on the RS8. Nice. So watch part 2. I'm going to show you some different carry options, and I'm going to show you how it draws and cuts the neck of our Volunteer compared to a fixed blade, another fixed blade, normal fixed blade. Thank you. Bye.